Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest for the first segment today is Charles Young. He is a career development specialist for the Connecticut Department of Labor at Connecticut Works. So we'll meet him and learn what Connecticut Works is when we come back, so stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today for the first segment is Charles Young, a career development specialist for the Connecticut Department of Labor at Connecticut Works Services. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Let's tell everybody what Connecticut Works is.
Well, Connecticut Works is a one-stop career center, part of the National One-Stop Career Center network, where several service providers are brought together in one location. For instance, in New London, where I work, we have the Connecticut Bureau of Rehabilitation Services, we have the Connecticut Department of Labor, and we have TVCCA, which is the Thames Valley Council for Community Action.
So Connecticut Works is sort of an umbrella for a bunch of different programs and kind of organizations, is that?
Absolutely correct. It's an umbrella where we can have multiple items available, multiple types of services available. It's a one-stop shop.
Obviously, it makes it convenient. How was it decided a while back that something like this was necessary? Let's put them all together in one building, and just for the sake of convenience, money saving maybe?
Well, it's not just money saving. It's helpful for the customers who need the services, because people who need services, especially people who need several different types of services, it could take them weeks or even months to try to get to each different place or agency or service provider to get what they needed. Whereas if we house them all in one location, that makes it much easier and quicker.
They're literally walking down the hall or something like that, or to a different room, different office, and it's right there in the same place.
Exactly.
Makes life. So what's the type of person that would be utilizing the services of Connecticut Works?
Well, Connecticut Works is actually available to everybody, and that's one of the best kept secrets around, because anybody can use the services. People think, well, gee, I have to be unemployed.
Right.
That's not true.
First thing that popped into the head is like, well, you would take advantage of these services if you're unemployed looking for work, but that's not necessarily the case.
Absolutely not, because you could be underemployed, unemployed, you could be looking for additional job, whatever the case may be, a career change. It's open to everybody.
All right, now what's the easiest way? I want to get into the specifics of a lot of the programs and what people can actually do when they go there, but let's talk first about how they go about it. Do they need to set up appointments? Do they need to make some kind of reservations? Do they need to be in a certain financial status situation, anything like that?
Well, again, anybody can use the services. They are all at no cost. To use any of our services, you just come into the office, you fill out a one-page membership application, and from that point, you're in the Connecticut Works system, and you can actually use services at any of the Connecticut Works offices in the state.
Okay, good. So you're networked at that point, and then you can just go anywhere else if you happen to relocate or something like that around the state?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's get specific about some of the Connecticut Works services. What are they? You mentioned TVCCA, and you also mentioned, and obviously it's not just for people who are unemployed, but certainly they can take advantage of many of the services that are available there.
Absolutely. Unemployed persons come in all the time, but it's not even just the job seekers. The employers can also use our services as far as the website goes, and as far as employer recruitments. They can come in and conduct initial interviews and take applications in our offices and things of that nature. So it's the job seekers and the employers both. And there's everything from workshops where we can provide skills, possible retraining opportunities, equipment to use, computers, fax machines, mailing, copies, as long as it's job search related, those types of things. Again, all at no cost.
Right. So for employers, they could post, like you said, job opportunities for people, and if some of the people that are using the services are looking for work anyway, then it seems like a match made in heaven, at least in that little aspect of what you offer, right?
It is, and what I like best about, for instance, the job search website, which is www.ct.jobs. That particular website is available to job seekers and employers both at no cost. What a lot of job seekers don't understand is employers normally have to pay to post jobs on job search websites and search for resumes, But on Job Central, they don't have to pay. It's no cost for both the employers and the job seekers.
Since you mentioned resumes, is that another service that's available for people to tweak or maybe even sort of redo their resume in the first place?
Oh, absolutely. We tell people if they already have a resume but it's not getting good results, or if they don't have a resume, they need to come in, because we have nationally certified professional resume writers available to critique resumes. We also provide a resume basics workshop where we teach you how to build your resume, and that's a good point. We don't, some people think, well, we go into the Connecticut Works office and they give me a job. We don't give anybody a job.
They give you the means to be able to maybe have a better chance at getting a job on your own, right?
That's it. We train you on how to get a job. We train you, give you the tools, the information, sometimes the necessary retraining, and then that allows you more easily and more quickly to go get your own job.
Now, when you say retraining, maybe the ability to conduct yourself more professionally in an interview, if that should happen, right?
Absolutely. We have an interview techniques.
Just all kinds of things that can be taught and learned.
Interviewing techniques, resume basics, job search strategies, all these different skills can be trained for those who are somewhat lacking in computer skills, because some people have been in occupations that don't require the use of computers.
Right.
We have computer basics, email for beginners, online applications, how-to, introduction to Microsoft Word. All those are available even if you don't have any computer skills. We can help with that. And if you do have a lot of good computer skills, intermediate to advanced, but you want to freshen up some of your skills or maybe gain some new skills, and you're able to take classes online, we have a system called Wired for Work Metrics Online Learning, where there's a little over 5,000 online courses you can take, again at no cost, by attending an orientation session, and then they send you a username and a password. You get a 90-day license, and then after 90 days, if you used at least 30 hours of computer time, then you can ask for a second 90-day license. You could have up to 180 days to take as many of these 5,000 courses as you can get done.
Wow, that's amazing too, and all at no cost to the individual
all at no
too.
Cost.
Now, the great thing is not only are computers available there for internet purposes when it comes to maybe improving yourself or looking for work, but like you said, if they may not have the appropriate computer skills, they can be taught how to use it properly and then take it to the next level, whether it's going online to search for jobs, or maybe there are plenty of things online where you can touch up your resume that way too. So it's like it's a one-stop, all-encompassing thing. You mentioned the workshops. What specifically are the workshops to train you, get you a little bit better at maybe being out there in the world? But let's talk about them a little bit.
Well, some of the training courses online, it's got all of the Microsoft Office 10 products in multiple levels from beginner to advanced.
You stay very current then with the software and everything too.
Oh, we do try to do that, absolutely. The Office 10 stuff just got added recently, but they keep trying to stay ahead of the game. But there's everything from management courses, human resource courses, customer service courses, Microsoft Certified Software Engineer courses, Cisco Certified Software Engineer courses, A+ certification, website design, Photoshop, and that's only half of the courses because that's the business half. There's another half that's all healthcare related.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. In this economy that we're in, are you finding that your place is more crowded than ever with people coming in?
It is getting busier, and there's obviously anybody can pick up a newspaper or read the news and understand why it is getting busier. That's why if you want to sign up for our workshops, you do have to sign up and register, because they do fill up. And that comes to how long it takes to use our services. Because some of the workshops, the more popular ones, fill up because you do have to sign up for them, you may have to wait to get into some of them.
Good point.
So if you want to come in today and finish your job search preparation in the next 30 days, well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It could take up to
time.
4 months or more to get through everything you need to get done to be ready.
But it's advantageous for you to do that, because then you are more ready for your ultimate goal would be to improve your life, get a job or get another job, whatever it is you're looking for in there. That time that you put in is only for your benefit.
Oh, absolutely. The more you take advantage of our workshops and all the services we have to offer, the much shorter your job search is going to be. You're going to be able to be more successful with it. And it also goes for if you're in a particular career but you want to stay there, but you want to advance, and you need A, B, or C. We might be able to provide those.
I asked you about the economy a moment ago, and your place might be a good barometer for how things are going. If more employers, I should say, are posting jobs, that's a sort of a letting you know that maybe times are getting a little better if they're willing to offer more jobs, and if maybe less people are looking for work or there are more jobs available for them. Your place is a good window on if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, as far as the recession goes.
Oh, absolutely. And I've been actually using one of our services, the Connecticut Job Central website. I've been using that as a barometer. Now, when the economy was really, really bad, I could do a search, say 25 miles around New London zip code, and I might come up with a 100 jobs, 25-mile radius. And then as the economy has been improving, that gets shorter and shorter radius and more jobs. Now it's to the point where I can pick any zip code in the state, and within 25 miles, I can find 1,000 jobs or more.
Wow, that's great.
Any zip code.
Right, that's great. I mean, it's a slow process.
It is, and it's going to still be slow.
Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, a step back sort of thing, but yeah, like you said, slow process. So what is a career development specialist do? What do you do specifically?
Some of the things that career development specialists do are provide some of our main workshops, the resume basics, the interviewing techniques, the job search strategies, and some of us provide career development and exploration for trying to look into new careers. We also provide the resume critiques because we are nationally certified professional resume writers. We also provide career guidance and career counseling. If somebody needs a one-on-one session because they just don't know how to get started, or they're stuck, or they need another idea about another avenue to look at. So we're available for that as well.
Now, you had mentioned off there's more than one website for people to go to. One specifically for jobs. I think one is more local, and then there's sort of a statewide.
Right. The State of Connecticut Department of Labor website, which is www.ct.gov/DOL. That's where you can access all the job seeker services statewide, as well as if you have questions about unemployment or wages and workplace standards or any of that stuff, or the veteran services as well. If you're a U.S. military veteran, you want information there, you would go to that website and then select the Veterans Workforce Development link.
Okay. Well, Charles Young, he's a career development specialist for the Connecticut Department of Labor's Connecticut Works. It's a pleasure having you on the show today. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll take a short break and come back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest for this segment is Linda Rakir. She is the Step Up Coordinator for the East Region, which is part of Connecticut Department of Labor. But I'll first of all welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Sean.
And then sort of let you explain that a little bit more, because it's a lot to fit on a business card.
It is indeed a lot to fit on a business card.
So what is a Step Up Coordinator, first of all?
I'm the Step Up Coordinator for the State of Connecticut Department of Labor and Office of Workforce Competitiveness Step Up program, which is a statewide program. So there are 5 coordinators in the state, and I represent the 41-town region of this area.
All right, so let's get specific about what the Step Up program is.
Step Up program is wonderful, Sean. It was part of the governor's jobs bill last year, so the legislators voted this into law, and it is designed for 2 things. 1, to help smaller employers create jobs, and to help put people back to work.
Simple as that, really.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say that it is absolutely working. It's a great program. It actually got rolled out around February of this year, and so far there have been approximately, I would say at this point, about 600, maybe 650 matches that have been made with employers that have created jobs and hired put people back to work.
So how does the Step Up program, how does it enable an employer to create a job and then therefore have an employee be able to get that job? Is it strictly like offering, is it a money incentive, or how does it work?
There is a money incentive, yes, and it's actually, these are for full-time jobs, as defined by this program as at least 32 hours a week. And there's 2 parts to the Step Up program right now. The easiest one to talk about is the Small Manufacturer Training Grant Program. That one is designed for a manufacturing company with not more than 100 full-time employees. And if they hire somebody for at least 32 hours a week who is 100% unemployed, completely no other income, no other source of income from work, They don't have to have collected unemployment benefits. They have to be just 100% unemployed, Sean. They can receive a wage reimbursement during the first 6 months of their employment up to $12,500.
Wow, that's
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And the only thing they have to do is make sure it's a full-time job and that that person is completely unemployed. So
Wow.
it's terrific.
Yeah.
The other side of the program, which is called the Subsidized Training and Employment Program, hence the acronym STEP for
Right.
Step Up, is a little bit more complicated. And that one is designed more for a service provider company, a retailer, and manufacturers can also take advantage of this, although it's really more designed for service providers and retailers. If they hire someone who is for at least 32 hours a week, those individuals need to meet 3 criteria. And these are all ands. 1, they have to be 100% unemployed.
And again, they didn't have to necessarily collect
No,
unemployment.
no,
but-
absolutely not. And there really only needs to be a short gap in
Right.
employment. 2, they have to live in one of 39 towns in the state of Connecticut. Now, how did they choose the towns?
Right.
The legislators chose them on 2 factors. 1, towns that have population of 80,000 or above.
Okay, and we know the larger cities in Connecticut.
Right, New Haven, Hartford, Bridgeport.
Right.
Or 2, that had higher unemployment rates
And those are
than the
usually
rest
the
of
bigger
the
cities
state.
too, right?
Yeah, well, yes and no. Like New London, for
Right.
example, they don't have population of 80,000, but they're one. There's a little town in our region, Voluntown,
Right.
they qualify. So some of them are not necessarily the big towns, but some obviously probably meet both of those. And the third criteria, and as I say, these are all ands,
So they all have to be
they
included.
all have to be met, is that their family income must be equal to or less than 250% of the federal poverty level.
Okay, so whatever that number is.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
that's-
that one scares employers a
Yeah.
little bit. They're like, oh, what does that mean? But let me give you an idea.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, they're fairly generous amounts. A family of one, a single person, their income must be equal to or less than $27,925.
So technically, $27,500 for a family of one. If you are below that number, technically you are at or below the poverty level. That's what the number.
This is 250%.
Oh, 250%,
Right, of the
okay.
federal poverty
All right,
level.
okay.
And it was 27,925.
Okay.
And unemployment benefits don't count in that calculation. So if it is a single person and they have, just receiving unemployment, they're going to meet that income qualification.
And unemployment compensation is a percentage of what, I guess what their most recent salary was anyway, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Yes. A family of 4, the income is $57,625. And in many households, as you know, Sean, maybe one person is unemployed and maybe receiving unemployment benefits. So chances are they may qualify.
Right.
So those 3 conditions, they must be 100% unemployed, live in one of the 39 towns, and meet the income requirements. When that happens, an employer who hires that individual can receive up to $12,000 of their wages reimbursed during the first 6 months, and it's by percentage. So in month 1, it's 100%, month 2 and 3, it's 75%, month 4 and 5, 50%, down to the 6 months, it's a 25% reimbursement. And at that point, I think the theory behind that is that most of the training, it all happens up front.
Right.
So while that new employee is getting geared up and getting up to speed, hopefully by month 6, now they're contributing to the bottom line of the organization.
right.
So at that point, they wouldn't need their reimbursement anymore. So it's been a terrific program. Job seekers can either, employers can, what we call like a reverse referral. They may have a candidate who has applied to them. We obviously, for the subsidized program, need to verify their income. That part's very important, and verify that they are indeed 100% unemployed and meet all the criteria. Or they can give us a job description of the skills that they're looking for, and we can find people and refer candidates that we know meet the qualifications to them. They interview, they hire, but it's a great service for employers. Many of the employers post their jobs on the state's free online website.
That we talked about in the first segment.
Exactly. So it's kind of a win-win, or can search that resume database and find people that qualify.
And would that be the same way that the state, the Step Up program finds somebody to refer to an employer if they're looking for a specific type of individual? Because I was going to ask you, as you were saying that, how do you find a person that you can refer to a potential employer?
I'm sure each region does it a little differently. What we do in the East region is I send out a job posting every time I get it to a email distribution list. And it's all career advisors and counselors. I send them to the community colleges and so forth. So we have a pretty wide net, right? And those people send it to their staffs and so forth. So it's a really nice, broad distribution so that we can gather those resumes for the employer.
You know, you've done a great job at describing it from both the employer and the potential employee side. As I listen, I think like the toughest part of that would be to get the employer to offer or create a job in the first place, because I've always found that in this economy the way it is right now, they're the ones that are the most skittish in offering employment because they're concerned about the economy. If they see it turn around, it seems like they want to hire people, but jobs aren't coming because they're kind of holding back and waiting to see what happens.
You're absolutely right, Sean. And what this program has really facilitated is, in many cases, the employer knows they have to hire somebody. You know, they're all overworking their staff and so forth, and they want to. It's like making that leap that, as you say, is very difficult. And the requirement that the job has to be at least 32 hours has really made a huge difference, because when we talk to employers, they'll say, I can only afford to hire, for 20 hours a week. But when you show them the impact of what this reimbursement would be over 6 months, most times they will say, geez, you know what, with that, I can hire for the 32 or 40 hours a week.
Does that even cover them, if they're offering, health benefits as well to the potential employee too? Now, normally there's sort of like a probationary period before they even have to offer, but that is a concern of employers too, because it's expensive.
That's right. It doesn't cover the health care. It's strictly the wages of the individual, but it certainly enables people to look at their bottom line and say, geez, with that reimbursement, this becomes more affordable to me. We've had employers that have hired as many as 5 people. Wow. I know some of my colleagues throughout the state, there's some employers that were doing a major recruitment and we're able to hire, say, 10 people through the Step Up program. So it really has been, I say locally, it's been like flying off the shelf. Right. So it's been extremely popular.
Your program, the Step Up program, started in February. So at that point, which wasn't that long ago, you could already see maybe the economy in general sort of making a bit of improvement. I asked Charles in the first segment how you deal with us being in a recession and the economy being flat. You probably you were in the advantageous state of having it already sort of maybe ever so slightly turn around. So imagine what your job would be like if you kind of started it earlier.
It would have been certainly more challenging.
Yeah.
But employers, once you give them the concept, they grasp it, and it's been very, very popular. There is a third program that is going to be rolled out very shortly. It has been voted on and approved by the legislature in late June of this year, and it has been funded by the Bond Commission. And that program, Sean, is also a wonderful program, because that one, and I want to make sure I have the name right, is the Unemployed Armed Forces Member Subsidized Training and Employment Program. And so there's a third Step Up program specifically going to be designed for returning veterans. And there are some qualifications. These are veterans who have seen at least 90 days of combat time in either Iraq or Afghanistan. And for those fine individuals, God bless them, they can go to work for any company, any size. And they don't need to meet the income or town residency. They merely have to be 100% unemployed. So they can, a company of any size can hire a returning vet through the new Armed Forces Step-Up program, soon to be rolled out. And just very excited. It's thrilling that the state is making this effort to help our veterans.
I just want to make sure before we run out of time, because we are very soon, for you to be able to give out a website or any information for people to go to and learn more about this.
Oh, thank you, Sean. The best place to go is the Department of Labor's website, www.ct.gov/DOL. And right on the home page, there's a button that says Step Up, and it will bring them to a fact sheet about the program. And there's an inquiry form that people can fill out online for both a job seeker or an employer. And those will be distributed to the step-up coordinator in whatever the geography is, and that individual will follow up with them with either a phone or an email. So it's a great way to get tuned in and learn more about the program.
Linda Riquier is the step-up coordinator for the East region, but depending on where you are watching in the state, you can go to the website and you'll be able to go to the region that is more appropriate for you. Thanks, Linda, for being on the show today.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. We will see you next time.